Today we're going to be doing some ox cheeks. We're going to be smoking them with our slow roller on our KJ3. We're going to be braising them in some bone broth, and we're going to throw them on some tacos this evening for dinner. This is how we do it. We're using our slow roller today to smoke our cheeks. So we're going to put in the slow roller system, and then we're going to set up our grids. The nice thing is that the slow roller has the cap on top which you can just pop off, and once you've popped it off, then you can throw in your wood chunks once your coals are ready to go. And we're using some hickory wood chunks to smoke our cheeks today. We're going to remove some of the excess sinew and excess fat and gnarly bits on the cheeks. These came really nicely trimmed already, so we didn't have to do too much work. They're going to cook for so long, most of it will break down anyway, but just go at it and take off as much as you need to, or as much as you don't need to. It's entirely up to you. These guys are trimmed up and ready for some spice rub. We're going with some basic salt, pepper, paprika, garlic and onion powder, but you can go ahead and use your favorite beef rub or brisket rub on these guys as well. We're going to be smoking these guys at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for about 3 hours. After 3 hours, we're going to be braising them in amazing bone broth and a chili base, and we're going to show you how to make that chili base as well. The chili base we're making today for our beef cheeks is really simple. We're going to smash up a few cloves of garlic in a mortar and pestle till they're nice and fine. We like to use a bit of salt, it just helps grind it a bit better. Slice up a few yellow onions and a handful of fresh chilies. We like to use fresh and dried chilies, it just gives a greater depth of flavour. So once the fresh chilies are diced up, we're going to take a bit of boiling water and pour it over the dried chilies just to rehydrate them a bit. Once you're done chopping and mashing the garlic, it's ready to fry up. We're just going to fry them in a bit of olive oil until they're nicely caramelized and broken down and nice and soft. We're going to add in our dried chilies, a little bit of salt and black pepper, 2 cups of bone broth or beef broth, a little splash of apple cider vinegar and some Worcester sauce. Once it's cooked down a bit, we're going to whiz it all up in a blender and add that to another cup of broth, and our braising liquid is done. Our cheeks have been going for about 3 hours in the KJ now, and they are looking amazing. They've got an awesome crust on the outside. They're still quite tough, but that's what the braising liquid's for. So we're going to pop these into the braising liquid we just made, and they're going to sit back in the KJ wrapped in foil for at least another 3 hours until they are super tender. So these cheeks have been braising for about 3 hours now. We're pulling the covers just to have a little probe test. Look at the color of that sauce, folks. It's unbelievable. It's just become so rich and dark. If we had to take a temp, these are sitting on 197 degrees Fahrenheit, just probably a little bit below, but they are pretty much ready. They are just probing them. They are super tender and super soft. We don't want them to pull apart. We're not making pulled cheeks. We're actually going to slice them up very similar to how you would slice up a brisket. And the slow roller seems to have done an amazing job on these cheeks. Just have a look at that awesome smoke ring, awesome crust and bark on the outside, and they are super tender. We weren't going for the pull cheek effect, so we wanted to slice these up to put on our tacos. If you wanted to get them to pull apart with 2 forks, then you just keep them in for a little bit longer. But here's a pull test just to show you how tender they actually are. Once they're all sliced up, we're going to add a little bit more of the braising liquid that we cooked them in, and then they're ready to get chucked onto our soft shell tacos. We're serving our tacos dirty today with the bone broth and chili on the side, and we're dunking them in. If you like this recipe, guys, please subscribe to our page, like the video, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and join us in our Surrey cooking school this coming summer. Our website's live and you're ready to book. See you soon. Cheers.